conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation as indicated on the agenda. The meeting site is fully accessible, and any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation's central office. Mr. Havlin, will you lead us in the pledge, please? And we do have a quorum. All of the members are present. Mr. Hendricks, the mission statement.
Thank you. Lebanon Community School Corporation challenges everyone every day to reach a new best.
Thank you. Okay, we will jump right into the budget hearing. Mr. Dennis.
Thank you, Mrs. Hutchison. Tonight we are required, per state law, to hold a budget hearing. Notice of this meeting was published on September 3rd. We are required to publish this within 10 calendar days of this public meeting. That Form 3 shares with our taxpayers our maximum budget for each of our 6 budgeted funds, as well as the maximum funds to be raised for each fund, or the tax levy for each fund. Shared with the board at our budget work session last month what our levies would be for each. I do want to highlight one change that I felt prudent, and that is I shared with the board that we would voluntarily set our levy for the operating referendum at $4.5 million. Since that meeting, I've had conversations with our Director of Special Education where he's brought to my attention rising caseload specifically for speech and language pathologists at 2 of our schools that may cause us to make a staffing decision there. And knowing that we are willingly lowering our levy, I want to say beyond, but lower than what the taxpayers have authorized, I felt it a little bit worrisome to not add $100,000 to that levy in case the need should present itself in the next 4 months before the budget is certified. Leaving that revenue on the table seemed a little bit concerning for me. Please note that during the 1782 process, which takes place in December, we can still make that decision to hold the levy at 4.5 rather than $4.6 million. But this is our only opportunity to set our maximum amount both on the budget side and the levy side. So again, I did share with the board and the community that the levy would be $4.5 million. On our Form 3 or our advertisement to our taxpayers, that is $4.6 million, but that is due to the new information provided on the staffing side. So with that, we are required to turn this meeting over for any patrons that have signed up to speak to our 2026 budget, but otherwise, should there be none, there is nothing further for this budget hearing.
Do we have anyone signed up? Okay, then we will close this budget hearing for this evening. Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Now we will open our regular meeting. We need to approve the minutes from our August 19th budget work session, our regular meeting, and then our August 21st public hearing and executive session. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes as presented in your notes?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or corrections to those minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Superintendent's announcements and celebrations.
Thank you, Mrs. Hutchison. I'm pleased to share with you this evening. I think I had shared with the board that we're waiting word on whether we were recipient of a competitive robotics grant from the state of Indiana from the Department of Education. Happy to announce that we're among about 50% of the folks who applied received grants, and we're among that. And so congratulations to Dr. Ottinger and her team, Mr. Moore, our STEM teacher, one of our STEM teachers at the middle school, and Mr. Farrell, who worked very hard on that grant. That's going to allow us to buy a lot of fun robot kits and coding opportunities for our students to expand our competitive robotics program here at the school. So congratulations to them. I'm looking forward to seeing them do great things with that. The last item this evening is it's homecoming week. It's always fun to be around during homecoming week. So we look forward to that and look forward to a big win on Friday. That's all I have.
Yes, thank you. All right, we have a program spotlight tonight. Mrs. Neubarger and We Are Tigers, if you would like to come up.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, President Hutchinson, Dr. Milliman, and board members. Good to see you. My name's Deanna Nybarger, and I am the Student Services Coordinator for Lebanon Community School Corporation. I oversee PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, in all of our 6 buildings. And tonight, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about PBIS and what you could expect to see in our schools if you were to visit. And then we have some guests from Harney Elementary who are going to share also. So, throughout my quick share, we took pictures. We have evidence of We Are Tigers throughout all 6 of our buildings. And so the hope would be that as you walk around the high school, the middle school, the preschool classrooms, you would see this language and these visuals throughout our buildings. I shared this when we started the school year. I got to open up with all of our teachers and staff because PBIS is not just for young people, it's for adults, it's for the staff as well. And so I talked to them about if you want to go quickly, you do that alone. But if you want to go far, we need to go together. And so that's kind of what I've been thinking about. We have a PBIS district team that has worked to collaborate up to the steps we've gotten to so far. I'm going to outline year 1 goals. We've outlined a 5-year plan for PBIS. And you might be wondering why PBIS? It's simple, it's successful, so lots of evidence research, best practices, and it is sustainable. So we want this to be a part of our schools for years to come. What then are we focusing on? In year 1, we are focusing on common language at all 6 of our buildings, not just in our buildings, but with our families, our bus drivers, food services. We are incorporating the language of We Are Tigers all throughout our community. We're focusing on behavior expectations and positive affirmations. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what those things are. When it comes to common language, we had teachers work this summer to create 6 PBIS lessons, K through 12. So once a month from September through February, every student in Lebanon will be participating in a PBIS lesson where we explicitly teach the Tiger trait of that month. So September was teamwork for the first letter in Tigers, and I got to walk around the high school and engage with high school students preparing a meal or participating in a survival activity for the group around teamwork. But all of those lessons were created by teachers this last summer. The hope is that next year, with year 2, we'll increase that to 12 lessons so that eventually we have a robust scope and sequence for PBIS lessons. We wrote morning announcements for all of our schools that center around the Tiger traits. We have parent square messages. Maybe you've seen them. There's one there in the corner. And other communication, so it's up there, it's hard to see, but we have opportunities for families to engage in the Tiger traits with their children at home, whether that's asking them questions, events happening around town, or fun things that they can do together to do those things. I put up a picture of the bus. I've been explicitly meeting with our transportation now last year and this year, expanding that common language to our bus drivers, and we'll be working with food services this year as well. So those are our common language aspects. Behavior expectations. So I kind of mentioned this already, but want to shout out the middle school and high school here. So with behavior in PBIS, it is about teaching explicitly the behaviors we want to see. And so we teach, we practice, we model, and then when needed, we reteach. Again, with adults too. So we want to notice when we're seeing teamwork among teachers, integrity among teachers. I find myself using the language out in the community too. I went to Dairy Queen today to pick up some gift certificates, and There was a parent actually in some flannel, and I don't know if they dressed for homecoming, but I had a small cowboy hat on my head and a handkerchief, and I connected with them through teamwork, just making sure I had the language. It was a nice conversation. What I'm highlighting here, this is from our work-based learning program here at the high school. Matt Carroll, the teacher for that, has incorporated the Tiger traits in the work-based learning program. His students are focusing on a trait at a time, and in their jobs, they are asking their employers to give them feedback on the specific Tiger traits. So you can say, I see they were focusing this month on I can demonstrate skills that show I can work as a team, like communication, listening, being flexible. And when I went to visit some of them at Goodwill and Culver's, they were working hard on making sure that they were introducing themselves and walking around, helping each other out, asking each other if they needed help. So incorporated there. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, the middle school is working to, I want to beef up their homeroom time. So they, once a week, are looking at goals around missing assignments, attendance, and grades in their classes, and they're using the Tiger Traits language. So where are your strengths with teamwork? What maybe do we need to work on to improve? And that's new this year. So focusing that and integrating the language into those spaces and places. Positive affirmations. So this really is just centered around when we see it, we want to name it. What you see and what we notice, we get more of, adults and young people alike. So when we see the Tiger traits, we want to notice, we want to name, we want to celebrate. And so here's some examples of what that looks like. We have Tiger tickets all across the district at all 6 of our buildings. Tiger tickets can go to adults or students. Bus drivers are passing those out. Cafeteria staff are passing those out. The middle picture is 2 students from the high school participating in the September Ice Cream Sunday celebration. They were the September Tiger of the month. And on the left, a student at Harney got to go to, it's like a little, what is that called? Claw game. His name was drawn, and so he got to participate and get a fun little incentive for his positive behavior. These are just small things that are happening. I wanted to, when Dr. Milliman several months ago asked me to come and present on PBIS, I am one person on this team. I'm really proud to walk alongside all the people on the district team. Brianna Julian is one of my PBIS instructional assistants. She is an expert. She has worked tremendously hard over the summer implementing PBIS at Harney, and last year just was a superstar. So I have invited Harney to come talk to you about PBIS celebrations, Cub Connections at Harney, and they've got some students. So I'm going to invite Miss Julian, Miss Wen, Miss Carlson's here just for support, Dr. Dye. And then we have 3 students who actually have transitioned to the middle school. So we have Ryan, Adriana, and Sophia here as well.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Julian. I'm the PBIS IA at Harney Elementary.
Hi, ladies, gentlemen. I'm Rachel, the art teacher, and also one of the Tiger Leaders club sponsors at Harney.
For our Cup Connections. At Harney, we're excited to continue our PBIS Tiger Leaders program. This is designed to recognize and grow student leaders who model our Tigers' expectations every day, using teamwork, integrity, growth mindset, empowered, responsible, and supportive. This is a new direction for us from transitioning from the Pride model last year, but keeping the same format this year.
So the Tigers Leaders program, it's nominated, the students are nominated by teachers throughout the entire building. They're specifically looking at 5th graders because that's our model standard of all of the kids. They've been doing this their whole elementary career. And so we ask the teachers for that feedback, that who they nominate. And it's not just about academics, it's about their character and who they are and what choices they make throughout their entire career well, in our case, at Harney. And we've seen a lot of growth with some students, so it's nice to see that kid that you were like, ooh, yeah, you're 5. But then when they get, to be a 5th grader, you're like, there you are. It's nice to, it's nice to meet you again. So come on up here and be good. All right.
All right, these leaders serve as our role models in the classrooms, hallways, and beyond. Together with the staff coordinators, Mrs. Wynn and I, we help lead 6 all-school-wide convocations, which we call Cub Connections. And throughout the year, these students from last year were a part of it. We acted out classroom scenarios to show what Tigers behavior looks like. Last year was Pride. And then they also just encourage positive behavior and mentor younger students and represent what it means to be a part of our school community.
These next 2 slides are pictures and videos from our Cub Connections. They were a component of, like, you see, like the video screen, we would lower the screen in our new gymnasium stage area, and we would play short videos of different students around the building saying what it means to be whatever that
Attribute.
was. And then the one where it looks like a miniature classroom. Oh, the Santa hat. Oh, bless. That's one of the skits that we were talking about, where they act out classroom scenarios, what it means to show that trait in the classroom.
And then just
That's just the
MCs.
group thing, and
Yep.
then it looks like the other 2 are just like, there's different parts to it, so not just the skit, but we have like MCs and that, so that's probably the students doing that. And then the next video is a video.
Yeah, and then I wanted to say that the scripts, we hand wrote all of them last year, and then we were asked to be a part of the summer program. And so we have written 6 scripts for all the elementary schools to use for this year, so they can do school-wide convocations.
Yeah. And this is an excerpt of one of the children's favorite part is the challenge.
You got this! We believe in you!
And they must
25 seconds! 20 seconds!
by color, by into bid. And so it was chaos, and the children loved it. Yes.
There's a highlight in the video. The sound's not great, but a student yells in the audience.
Yeah. You can do it.
Oh, that's so
I know, it's hard to hear, but that's why I picked it. It's like, we believe in you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wouldn't have talked during it.
No, it's fine. It's hard to hear.
All right. Well, most importantly, the Tigers Leaders program, we've got to get on that new name brand.
Yeah.
It teaches that it's not just about a title, like an empty, meaningless, like, oh, I'm a Tiger Leader, but it's their daily actions, because every student has the opportunity to be a leader by prioritizing teamwork, showing integrity, having a growth mindset, being empowered, being responsible, and supporting others.
And then by highlighting these traits, we're not only shaping a positive school environment in elementary, but obviously with our middle school students, high school, and then beyond, it's all attributes that we all want as adults. That's why we voted on it as a school and a community. So, Sophia or Ryan or Brianna? We're just gonna let them talk and kind of see, like, maybe a memory from last year, like how they're feeling about, like, how it helped them to get to middle school. But they were really great for our program last year.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia Bernal, and I was one of the Tiger Pride leaders last year at Harney. As you all know, P was for persistence, R for respectfulness, I for initiative, D for dependability, and E for efficiency. The first one is persistence. Persistence has helped me to keep pushing and not give up, especially when the difference in homework amounts was a little overwhelming. Next is R for respectfulness. Being respectful has helped me develop new friendships and forming good relationships with my teacher. The I in initiative is next. Initiative means doing things independently. Let's say you're working on a problem at school. When you are doing the problem, make sure you actually try to solve it by yourself before asking for help. Take some initiative and make sure you're actually trying. Now the D for dependability. Some examples of dependability at the middle school are turning in homework when they are due or getting the classes on time. When I do this, people can trust or depend on me. Last but not least, E for efficiency. Efficiency means being organized and on time. For example, using your time wisely to get things done and staying on top of everything. My experience of being a Tiger Pride leader has helped me a lot transferring to elementary school to middle school. It helps me keep a good and positive attitude and know that I can do anything if I put my mind to it. That wraps up my speech. Everyone have a good night, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ryan Fouts, and being a Tiger Pride leader helped me with my leadership skills, being able to talk in front of people, and and just being a good person all around.
I'm Aubriana Venus, and I was a Tiger Pride leader last year as well. It helped me with working with others so that now I can be a leader in my team, and I can also be just a member of my team. It helped me because now I can reference it whenever I need it. If I need to remember something that I learned last year, I can remember about Pride, and I can learn about Tigers as well. I loved working with people who encouraged me to do my best, and it was really fun doing it, and I'm really grateful that I got to be.
Great job. Did all the right things. You guys are great. So again, just thinking back, PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, this is year one and focusing and changing that language to We Are Tigers. What we know and what research tells us, and the community voted on what those tiger traits would be. So we had over 4,200 survey responses from students, community members, and staff members. And that's what went into teaching, choosing teamwork, integrity, growth mindset, empowered, responsible, and supportive. And this is what we want for our Lebanon young people. This is what we want from our staff. And we hope that as you walk around and visit our buildings, or you're in our community, that you see evidence and signs of We Are Tigers, and that you join us. Let's do this together. Do you guys have any questions for these experts or our team?
Round of applause for the kids
Yeah,
coming
I
up.
know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, it's Aubriana. I apologize. I messed up
And
your
each
name.
of them just did something that 90% of the community has not done.
Correct.
Come up and speak at a board
True.
meeting. So
Yeah.
I
100%.
congratulate all of
Yeah,
you,
it's
and
awesome.
it's great to have leadership like that in the schools.
And that's the impact we're looking for. So that's what we're going to see more of.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, we have to memorize the new acronym now.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not.
We're all working on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Dennis, school construction renovation update.
Yeah. While Mr. Byer approaches the podium here, I will preface the board a little bit. We wanted to talk about the progress of the renovation at the old Central Elementary for the preschool and administration office. They've been actively working there now for about 3 months, started as students exited for the summer, and it became apparent somewhat quickly that the utilization of the reserved contingency there was being utilized awfully quickly. And I've invited Austin Byer tonight, Senior Project Manager with Meyer Najum, overseeing both our middle school project and that renovation at the old Central Elementary, to ultimately communicate to the board our original reserved contingency. And when we think about contingency, I really think that contingency is not what if, it's when it does. Contingency is a part of the budget. It's not anticipated that any contingency is returned to us. It is truly there for the things that are uncovered in the field that were not possible to be discovered during the design phase. And so, as I mentioned, the utilization of contingency at Central Elementary has exceeded $450,000 at this point, and for context, $650,000 was originally reserved. And Mr. Byer will talk about how those numbers are arrived at based on the book of business with Meyer Najum and how they historically set aside contingency dollars for these projects. But as I mentioned, the utilization of that is obviously quicker than we want, and it has become apparent that unless everything from here on out goes perfectly, the current contingency amount of $650,000 will not yield a building that is consistent with the others that we've turned over so far. So ultimately, the recommendation from me this evening for this part of the board meeting is that contingency should be raised. And after Mr. Byer speaks, I'll talk about the finances behind our ability to do this. But again, we're truly at a point where are we going to make it work or make it right? And that's the conversation this evening of what final product we will receive with the current contingency amount. So invited Mr. Byer tonight to speak about kind of what's been going on so far, kind of the big ticket items that have caused us to uncharacteristically use the original reserve contingency a little bit quickly. So if you don't mind speaking a little bit to that, that'd be great.
Sure. Good evening, Austin Byer, as you said. Thanks for having me. Senior project manager over at the middle school. I think it's been a wildly successful project so far. We're about to bill out about 2/3 of the way through and work completed, so it's moving along quite well. In regards to the Central Elementary Administration project, I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've worked on numerous projects similar, and I think this is totally normal. For a building of this age, for a building that's this complex in renovation, and trying to utilize the existing structure, running into some of these unforeseen conditions is totally normal. So some of the main items that would highlight the significant portions of eating into the original $650,000 contingency budget, which was approximately 7%, would one be site concrete, as we were trying to keep some of the existing site concrete. It became noticeable that the areas that we were going to be replacing with new in and around, it would not tie in well with what's existing. So to make everything match the district standards, as Zach mentioned, to what we're building out here for the school, what we're building over at the middle school, it makes sense to remove that old concrete and place new. That item totaling approximately $50,000. Another thing was the electrical technology piece, doing a lot of new electrical cabling, equipment, software upgrades, more primarily throughout the building, but specifically in the preschool portion, the southern portion of the building. So somewhat of a redesign from what the original drawings and documents were released from bidding, and that item is approximately $150,000. Other things, in building construction, we have to make sure that we are putting things behind the walls, up in the ceilings that nobody sees, but making sure that it's high quality. But additionally, we have to make sure that everything that people are seeing, the doors, the walls, the lights, the ceilings, is of high quality as well. So these couple items here fall into walls. Due to unforeseen conditions and some of the drywall being laminated on top of other drywall. There being unnoticeable water damage that would not have been able to be seen prior to design, or other locations where there were wall openings in walls but covered up by from drywall upon newer projects from the original build. Or load-bearing walls that we were not aware of them being load-bearing, nor the design team, because of old as-built being incorrect. And it just, again, being the age of the building, it was not known that could not physically see these, as they were covered up with new walls, new drywall, and new renovations since from what we were anticipating. So those items there, approximately $160,000. A couple other electrical items that we are waiting to receive full information on from the design team. Approximately $70,000 on electrical stuff. And then there's some other outstanding items with the clerestory windows that also show some water damage and some need for repairing or replacing. As I said, the original contingency was probably about, was 7%. I think that we probably should have started with about 10%. And again, that is totally normal for a project that's this type of renovation. So I think in essence, it means going through the numbers, me and Zach, we're kind of resetting the budget to what it should have been. Myron Agent will not cut any corners, so we gather all the information and we bring it to the owner's attention with all these items to make sure that we're doing it right. As he said, we're going to make it right and not just make it work. So regardless of the end user, we will make sure to not cut any corners and make sure that you have the best end product. I think that's all that I have. If there's any questions, or Zach, can turn it back over to Zach to talk about the allocation of additional funds.
I think the decisions were made during design to reutilize a lot of things, and whether that was a bad decision or an ambitious decision, this is where we are. He mentioned the drywall. All the drywall at Central was covered with vinyl wall covering. We were successfully able to remove that at Stokes. Skim coat it, paint it, it looks great. Stokes was built in the early 2000s. That vinyl wall covering has been on the drywall at Central for 70 years, and as that was torn off, chunks of drywall were coming off with it, and it became apparent that there was no amount of skim coating or the labor to do that would exceed what it is to replace this anyway. As he mentioned, the technology items, we're doing all new ceiling grid. So when you talk about projectors, we're going to be taking those old projectors down to just reinstall them. And meanwhile, you'd be storing them hopefully safely for the time in which they're taken down. Again, stepping back, it's my belief at least that it would make sense to just replace those items and furthermore upgrade the old data cabling from Cat 5 to Cat 6, which is industry standard now. To give the board some perspective, the original prime budget was just under $9.3 million. I shouldn't say, sorry, not prime budget. On bid day, bids came in, prime bids were just under $9.3 million. Original contingency, $650,000. Recommendation tonight to the board is to raise that contingency to $1,075,000. So a raise of just under $400,000. For context, this project is supported from the same series of bonds that the high school project is. That original authorization was for $65 million. We have sold to date a portion of that. The cash flow, we've talked about that. That's in general what we do. The par amount that we've sold is $31,860,000. On sale day, we earned just over $3 million in premium that day. So in total funding so far, we are holding over $34 million that we've issued, which means that we have another $31 million prime to issue, which would also incur premium as well. So I share all this to state that under contract currently with this project, we have $53,078,525.75 worth of contract work. We have no more bids left to accept. I'm holding as budget placeholders things that have not been purchase ordered yet, or things like that. Things like furniture, additional buses, and other technology items, about $6.5 million worth of items. So what that leaves right now is, with this project authorization, there is currently $8.7 million not spoken for. Because of that, my recommendation to the board is this just shy of $400,000 add does not exceed the authorization that we have. And for reference, through August 31st, we have already earned $886,000 worth of interest on these dollars. So more than double the increase that I'm recommending to the board this evening, we have already earned in interest, and will continue to earn an interest as we issue these further bonds. But this is the first project where we have exceeded our original, I guess, budget. So whether you want to call this going over budget or having too ambitious of a contingency budget from the start, may or may not be semantics, but I just wanted to be transparent about where we are, and more importantly, returning a product to our community that is consistent with the 3 elementaries that we turned over this summer, the middle school project and the high school project we're working on right now, as well as the transportation facility. So again, Mr. Byer is here tonight to answer questions if there are some, and I'm certainly happy to as well. But just sharing with the board that we've been going through it pretty quickly, and I believe it's prudent to raise that contingency amount for the sake of the final project that we hope to turn over.
Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, so in terms of the concrete and the technology, those come out to about half of this, right? So when we say it was unforeseen, I guess my question is, when we were in the initial planning phases, you know, just why weren't we looking at upgrading all that right out the gate? Is my main question. I mean, fiscally, it sounds like it makes sense. Like, I'm not against increasing. I'm just kind of wondering why we didn't look at that up front.
These decisions were discussed and ultimately made over 12 months ago, and at that time, we did not have bids for the high school and really weren't sure how that would come in. And so when we were posed with something like the concrete, do you have to replace it? Is it doing its job in its current state? The answer was yes. But as we then looked at the state of the concrete, as well as Lebanon High School bids coming in favorably and leaving more than $9 million worth of room extra at this point, I believe the right thing to do, and this is what we did at Harney as well. We also had a lot of concrete at Harney that we initially chose to, you know, it's not doing anything but working right now. It doesn't look great. It's spalling. There's gouges out of it. But it became clear when the budget allowed for that site to be looking like a new site. We're in the exact same spot at Central. So don't disagree. Calling concrete unforeseen is probably not the right thing. You can see concrete. But it was and is working. It's just not in good shape. It would do its job, but it certainly is in a state of disrepair and would continue to deteriorate. But again, it would work. So that was a $50,000 add. Technology, as I mentioned, again, what was presented to me was, you've got projectors right now. They are 10 years old. They work. However, once we got into the constructability of this project and we know the grid's coming down, the mount is coming down, these old projectors are coming down, there's Cat 5 cabling behind it as opposed to Cat 6. It's, do you store the old projectors, or do you go ahead and upgrade for our preschoolers and put these rooms on par with the K through 12 rooms that we're doing right now? So yeah, again, an ambitious direction that I gave the designers that probably was, quite frankly, too frugal at the time of design.
I think too, to add to that, with all projects, you know, in construction, you always try to do some value engineering up front to potentially have some savings. And each product that you have on a building, you'll have a life cycle. So the life cycle of that concrete, yes, it may have given you another 5-10 years, but then you'd be looking at tearing that out and redoing that, similar to the drywall. That life cycle was ending, and so does it make sense to do this whole big renovation of this project now, and then go back or come back again in 5 or 10 years and do some more work, and then do some more work to upgrade or do these technology updates? It makes sense, in my opinion, to do it all right now while we're working on the big renovation. In addition to the drywall, one of the things kind of being unforeseen, so in one instance, or a large instance of the building, they had done patches and Band-Aids. They would just laminate new drywall over the old drywall, and in large portions of the building, there was 3 layers of drywall. So those are items that you could not see during design or early designs and plan for until you start getting into demolition of the existing materials.
Any other questions?
No, so the taste, I mean, really becomes a little bit more favorable when you already have favorable bids, and it becomes much more realistic to spend the money now rather than coming back and retrofitting 5 years from now. So when you have that headroom, I would agree.
Not a conversation I was ever hoping to have with you all, but life happened, I guess, and the hits just keep on coming. Building was built in
It built
1951.
1951. So yeah,
19
with the basement when you
With the
you
basement.
know that there's some head scratching going on.
Yep. Certainly still much more cost effective to renovate this rather than build new, of course, so making this work and making it a robust and resilient building for the years to come.
Thank you. All right. First reading of policy updates.
Yes, you have several policies this evening. Mr. Martin's done a great job. These are all under his direction. Some changes bringing things consistent with new regulations, et cetera. So I'm sure he would be happy to answer any of your questions, but we're looking at the use of medications, environmental health and safety, emergency preparedness plans and drills, and our head lice policy. Always a great topic
Always a fun
as
one.
well. So, but Mr. Martin's put those together for us this evening for your questions, if you have any.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions about these?
No.
Well, Mr. Heflin wouldn't have to worry about the head lice policies. So that would be
Whoa! Oh wow!
It's a good thing. It's a good
Oh
thing.
my!
That's a good thing.
Couldn't have said Zach. You had to say me.
I think it's a good thing.
You shaved the mustache. That's your problem.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Martin, for putting those together. Consent agenda staff matters.
Thank you, Mrs. Hutchison. Under classified staff, this evening you have two sections. Leave of absences, 1213 and 1214. Congratulations, Mrs. Buis. New hires, 1215 through 1233. Resignations, 1234 through 1244. Transfers, 1245 and 1246. Classified staff through Indiana Code. Here we go. Indiana Code 2026-511-2 is a new hire for your consideration this evening. Certified staff, as we like to see, small lists in September. We have a leave of absence request number 365, new hires 366 and 367, and a correction of an error in the length of contract, number 368. ECA to be approved this evening, new hires 1171 through 1210, resignations 1211 and 1212.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the staff matters for classified and certified and ECA as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussions?
Just impressed using the word Scrivener's error. The correction.
How about that?
That's
I
an
learned
old
that.
surveying
I learned that from our
correction.
esteemed vice president
Yeah, I
of the
was
school
gonna say,
board.
I didn't even realize it. I just read
That's
right
old
through it.
survey note.
Fancy.
Yes. Sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Consent agenda business matters.
Thank you, Mrs. Hutchison. Financial report, as always, note on the expense chart, I always do like to make the board aware. August of 2024 was a 3-pay month, so as you notice, the drop in payroll for 25 compared to 24. 2-pay month in 2025, 3-pay month in 2024. So happy to answer any questions on our 2 financial reports there.
Can I have a motion to, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself.
Questions on the financial report?
No.
Okay. 2 payrolls for this board meeting, the August 22nd and September 5th. The 2 of those total $2,231,115.06. Claims for the time period, $1,594,160.19 for a total of $3,825,275.25.
Okay, see, I was reading that, so I was ahead of myself. So now can I have a motion to approve the claims as presented for payroll?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Haviland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Mrs. Beltran, do we have any comments from the public? Okay. Mr. Dennis, you're up again for change orders.
Yeah, in terms of number, smaller change order month. Again, I've not forgotten, I know the board requested kind of a synopsis of the cost of the elementary jobs. Still waiting on closeouts for those. Notice a big one here from our general contractor at Perry Worth, a lot of unused allowance. So going back to our previous conversation, that would be an example of doing well in that regard. But we do have a sizable change order, and it's not a cause for alarm at the middle school. It's just the combination of many changes. And again, Mr. Byer is here from the middle school if the board would like to hear from that. But some of those tickets date back to April. This is simply just a clerical strategy to aggregate as many small changes together, and they end up being a rather large number. However, if you were to look at the remaining contingency at the middle school, again, in an opposite situation of what we were discussing earlier, the contingency is doing surprisingly well at the middle school. We are over 50% billed on that project. That doesn't quite mean we're 50% done, but we're 50%, more than 50% billed. And I don't believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I know I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here, Austin, but I don't believe we've used even 20% of the contingency at the middle school. Is that accurate? 60. So again, doing well there. These are anticipated costs with our electrician. Just it's a bunch of them together, whereas on the Gibraltar jobs, every single ticket was its own change item. So just wanted to explain that. But again, nothing alarming on the change orders for this month. But always happy to answer any questions.
Any questions about change orders? Okay. Can I have a... You have questions?
Siri does.
Oh, Siri has a question. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the change orders as presented?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. And my computer just decided to quit. Okay. Mr. Dennis, Nyhart Services Agreement?
We are due for an actuarial analysis on our other post-employment benefits. We offer a payout into a VEBA for our retiring teachers at the rate of $50 per day. This does qualify in the world of accounting as an other post-employment benefit. We complete an annual financial report for the state every year, and they require us to perform an actuarial analysis of what that liability is. And that needs to be done every 2 years, and we are due for that. So this simply allows us to set aside what our liability is for these other post-employment benefits if everybody retires. This is an item of compliance.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve the Nyhart Services Agreement. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you, Mr. Dennis. Dr. Milliman, second reading policy updates.
Yes, several policies brought to your attention for information last board meeting, now bringing to you for action. And you had opportunity, if you'd like to ask questions, then and now.
Anybody have any there are quite a few here, so anybody have any questions on any of these? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the second reading of policies as presented in your notes?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Havlin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. Dr. Milliman, Meyer Najum donation to LHS.
Yes, Meyer Najum has graciously donated to the high school athletics. As you enter the football field, you'll see their banner hanging proudly as you enter the field, and it is at the $1,000 mark, which actually requires board approval at this point. So bring it to you for your approval this evening.
Can I have a motion to approve the Meyer Najum donation to LHS?
Make a motion.
Thank you. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And thank you to them for that
Thank you.
donation. Mr. Martin, attendance updates for elementary, LMS, and LHS handbooks.
So he's got a section change. It is verbally the dialogue or directing the state requirement. So each of the handbook pages were there for you to visualize us inserting right in place of the original handbook. All handbooks are digital, so it'll just be a 1 or 2 page replacement.
Okay. Any questions about the attendance policies? All right, can I have a motion to approve the updates as presented?
I will make that motion.
Thank you. Have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Mr. Haviland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Our next meeting, believe it or not, is in October already, October the 14th. And then fall break, it's coming up October 20th to the 24th. So hope we have a win on